fucking day. Thursday fucking afternoon. How's it going, everybody? JakKlauZ here. Welcome to the Berserker Show. The Berserker KamoKlauZ Show. Another beautiful day here in Minnesota. And still not having any luck in the relationship world, and I don't really understand why nobody really wants to date a 45-year-old Viking from Minnesota. I don't know. I guess people don't really like a good thing when they see one. No. So I've been having these crazy, weird dreams that I keep having, and they involve Angelina from the Jersey Shore. Last night, I had a dream that her and I were together. I was on one of the Jersey Shore season episodes. I was on I think it was season 10 I was on. So I was on season 10, and I was dating Angelina, and her and I were both on the show together. And I know these are just dreams, so they're not real, because, I don't even know what I would do if I ever had a chance to be with Angelina. I think it'd be kind of cool, because I really think that she deserves a man like me, and a guy that can, provide her with children. I mean, I'd love to be her, baby daddy, and I'd love to, have kids with her. So I keep on having dreams about her, and they're really weird dreams, And I mean, it's kind of funny. So I'm on season 10. We're in Angelina's nice big house, and I'm sitting here, playing with her dog Peanut, and I always say, well, I'm stroking my Peanut right now, and I always call him my Wookie nut, and she goes, sorry, I go, so I'm stroking my Wookie nut, and she goes, what? What the hell's a Wookie nut? And I go, well, it's Peanut, and he's kind of like a Wookie, So, I'm stroking my Peanut, I'm stroking my Wookie nut, and she goes, you're so funny, and I go, I start doing the Chewbacca thing, and she thinks I'm really weird, and then the dog starts barking at me, and we have fun, and then Angelina and I, we end up, going and making love, and we go lay in her bed, and we go have sex and everything, and then we're supposed to meet up with all the cast, because we're going to some island. So they went to Jamaica in season 9, I think. So we're going to some, I think the Bahamas or something. We're going to some American kind of resort is where we're going. It's I think we're going to the Bahamas or some place, in that area. I don't know if the Bahamas are, but it's somewhere, close by, somewhere cool, but they've never been there. So we're going to the Bahamas. We're taking a cruise. So we're taking a cruise from Florida to the Bahamas, and then we're going, someplace really cool. Well, they were thinking about going there. Or they were thinking about going to Norway. Yeah, they were going to Norway. So we were all going to fly, to Norway, and then we were going to take a Norwegian, or we were going to take like a Viking cruise line, and we were all going to be like Vikings, and they were going to do that. I don't know if that was just because of me or what. The directors and the producers and stuff like that said that they wanted to go to Norway for season 10, and then so I figured I'd surprise Angelina with a Viking wedding. We'd have like a Viking wedding where we'd have a Viking minister, marry us, and we'd do it like the way the Vikings did it, So that was a really cool thing in my dream, and I was really excited about it. So we got together with the crew. We got together with all the guys and the cast members from future Jersey Shores and everything. Everybody was there. Sammy, Ronnie, JWoww, Snooki, Dina, Situation, Lauren, Pauly D, Nikki. Dina and Chris, and Angelina and I. We were all together on this idea for what we were going to do and where we were going to go. So we decided to go to Norway, and we decided to go to Norway, and we ended up going to Norway, and it was a really good idea, and we were all getting on a plane. Angelina and I were getting on a plane together, and we were going. I had my passport, we had everything going, and on the show, my name was JakKlauZ, so my name is JakKlauZ on the show. So a lot of people, see me and they think, oh wow, this guy's really true, true blue blown out Viking. I mean, this guy's amazing. And Angelina just loves the dreads. She loves everything about me. She thinks I'm really cool. And she even said, she goes, it's kind of funny how a guy from Minnesota who's not even from Jersey, comes into her life and just, treats her like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And so, we're going to Norway, and we're flying there. The whole time, Angelina and I are just holding each other's hands. We're kissing, we're hugging, we're loving each other. So this is a dream, because that would never happen, because my luck with women is just totally up shit's creek without a paddle. It's just really terrible. So it just really sucks, and I was never really expecting it to ever happen. Under problems, well, we don't have any problems. I mean, Angelina and I are like perfect for each other. We're just happy all the time, and everything. So we get to Norway, and it's just so beautiful, and everybody's all excited. We have this nice big. We're actually staying in a castle. Yeah, we're staying in a castle, or like a Viking encampment is what we're staying in. So it's like a Viking encampment is what it's like. And it's got room for all of us. It's actually got plumbing. It's actually got all this stuff. So we're not living like a true Viking, but we have like a lake near us. We have a river. We have like the city is not too far away, so we can go to clubbing and do all this stuff. But we're basically living in a Viking encampment, in Norway, and it's actually pretty cool. So we have an outdoor fire pit all the time, and there's wood to chop. So I start going outside and I start chopping this wood, and I have my shirt off, and I'm just like a husky, friggin', Viking, and I'm cutting wood all the time, and Angelina's just looking at me, and she's just like, she can't take her eyes off me. And then all the other girls are like, wow, Angelina, you did really well. And Vinny comes over, and Vinny says, oh, can I start chopping some wood? And Vinny's like chopping wood with me, and he's got an axe in his hand, and he's like having the damnedest time trying to do it. And I was like, yeah, you just gotta, you'll get it, you'll figure it out. And he's like, yeah, okay. Then Ronnie and everybody starts chopping they start chopping with axes, and we have this axe throwing wall, so we can throw little axes or we can throw big axes. And so here's me, and I just these guys are came over and started chopping, they started chopping wood, trying to cut wood like me and everything, and I'm just like, I've had enough, I'm done. So I threw my axe and I stuck it in a tree, and Mike, the situation goes, holy crap, he just threw that one-handed into a tree. And so everybody tries to do the one-handed, throw in the tree, and they're all like, dude, this JakKlauZ guy is freaking amazing. And they're like, they call him the Berserker. Yeah, Berserker Claus. That's what his name is, Berserker Claus. And they ask me what Berserker means, and I tell them that means bear warrior, or warrior. and I call myself a bear warrior, and that, you know, I'm always the first one in, last one out, you know, kind of like thing. And they're like, oh, that's really cool, you know. They're like, that's really awesome. And Dina and Dina and Angelina and everybody are just like so mesmerized by what kind of a person I am, and they think I'm really cool and everything. so I sit down and I drink some water, and I have a bottle of water and stuff, because I don't drink, you know. And they're like, they kind of like, you know, they're like, oh, you don't drink? And I'm like, yeah, I don't drink. And they're like, well, not even mead? And they're like, oh, well, if you have mead, I'll drink some of that. So I started drinking mead on the show, and all it is basically juices and berries and everything, you know, turned into stuff. So that's kind of what I'm going to use my juicer for, is to make mead. Yeah, we're going to make mead out of grapes and everything else. A little bit of that's what I'm gonna do with my juicer. Yeah. I'm gonna make mead. Yeah, I'm gonna make mead with my juicer. Yep. Show extra time in your keys. Yeah, I got a Prince song stuck in my head. So I started drinking mead on the show, and the guys, like, you know, like, so the guys couldn't believe that, you know, that I was drinking mead. And I was drinking it out of like an ale horn. I had my ale horn on the show, and I would drink it out of that, and they were like, that's like a really cool thing. And Paulie goes, dude, you actually have a drinking horn. It's like yeah. And I go, yeah, it's an actual Viking horn. And you know, Paulie D's like, dude, man, you are like so into the Vikings. And and I have my books with me, my Norse books with me. I have those with me, and you know, and I am a Viking minister. I actually am an ordained minister with the Vikings. In the stream I am. So I have all this stuff going for me, you know. And, you know, I'm 45 years of age, and I look really great. You know, I've actually been working out a little bit more, and I get myself into shape a little bit more and everything else. So, you know, Angelina's like, just like, you know, she fell in love with like the trophy guy, you know, right? Big beard, big braids and everything else. Just fell in love with me, right? And so she's just happy as hell to be with a guy like me. But we all know that in reality that would never happen. But well, I don't know, man. It could happen, but I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and, you know, stalk somebody on a show. I just have dreams about her because I really like her. I think she's a really great woman. I think she's, you know, she's done very well for herself. You know, she's very successful, but she just needs to find the right guy to be with. And that's really hard to come by. Yeah. But it's nothing against her. I mean, you know, and I just keep having dreams about her, because if you have dreams about somebody that you want to be with, then it should happen, but it's not going to, because it's, you know, reality doesn't go my way when it comes to things like that. But anyway, so we end up going to Norway, and we end up going to Norway, and I do all this fun stuff, and we go to this club, and we go to this club, and Angelina and I, actually, she wants to just go for a walk. Like, everybody else wants to go to this club downtown, and Angelina's just like, yeah, I really don't want to go anywhere. She's like, I want to go for a walk. So we end up going for a walk in the mountains, or like in Norway, and we end up going for a walk, and we just walk around in this luscious green, you know, field, and, you know, and then I throw Angelina over my shoulder, and I take her, you know, to this stream, and we end up skinny dipping, and we go skinny dipping, and we have a good time and everything else, and she just can't believe that she's with a guy like me, and she's really excited about it, and she really loves me, and she thinks I'm great and everything, and I end up really being happy, and then I wake up, and then my dream is over, and I just sometimes keep wishing that someday this would be a reality, and someday it would happen. I mean, I really do want things to start happening for me, because I think once, my divorce gets finalized, maybe things might change for me. Who knows? I just don't understand what I ever did to be dealt a hand where nobody really wants to be with me, and nobody wants to be in my life. And I really don't understand what I ever did to do that. I've always wanted to be on a show like the Jersey Shore. I've always wanted to do my own kind of Jersey Shore kind of thing. Be on up in Minnesota, have it called like the North Shore or something like that, or something. I mean, I'm 45 years of age. I mean, it would be nice to have a show like that, but it would only be one season. It would never go as long as the Jersey Shore did, because people would probably never follow it. And because it'd be all these people from North Dakota and Minnesota and Wisconsin and all us, up in the shore, up in the area. But it's just an idea, and it'd probably be one episode, but if anything, I would really actually like to be, I would actually like to be in Angelina's arms, and I'd love to be with her, and I think that would be really great. But, that's just one of those things. So, we're coming up here on my stop, and I just want to say thanks again for listening and watching the JakKlauZ Berserker KlauZ show, and listening to my crazy dreams. So, I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Take care and have a good one.